Hey peeps, DJMK here, and welcome to another episode of Cinderella Phenomenon Evermore. As you can see, I'm attending the masquerade. Okay, maybe it's the wrong kind of masquerade, hold up. But, do you like it anyway? But yeah, I also got a tiara on, just to suit the occasion, and as you can see, my hair's changed too, so... huge weight taken off my shoulders. But yeah, I am joined here, live with Tobias the Tantalus once again.
Hello.
And, yeah, in the last episode, this happened. This happened. So, yeah, we were in the masquerade ball that Fritz happened to choose as the theme for the evening. Also, to suit this, let's just do a different mask altogether. Got these blue light glasses here. Pretty comfortable, I will say. But yeah, so in the last episode, got a masquerade ball set up. Pros and Nobles of Brigantia showing up as well. And, well, we also had a pretty interesting discussion about witch advocacy and trials. And now this. This is happening right now. So, how is Lucette going to react to the person formerly known as Varg?
I mean, personally, if someone pulled this on me, I would be freaking out.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if I'd actually maintain my composure or whatever, but at least internally, I would just be like, what are you doing?
I know! Yeah, that's kind of what we were kind of running through, like, with some of my friends and I were kind of talking about this. We watched the episode, like, earlier today. And, even, like, kind of, like, a psychology of Varg, like, whether it's actually part of him, whether it's the curse, he just brought something out, or just the curse itself. It's really hard to tell here. But the biggest thing, hands down, that stood out about this plot, I guess, is the notion of justice and redemption. And oh yeah, there's a little slight correction that I wanted to make in the last episode. So, turns out, I said something about, like, the Hippocratic Oath. The first order of it, yes, is do no harm. But then the other part, which I was talking about, where it was saying that, like, whether you're an enemy or you're an ally, you deserve treatment, that's actually part of the Geneva Convention. So I was close, but that was different in Oath altogether. So I wanted to correct that. Special thanks to my friend who celebrated her birthday yesterday. We actually looked this up earlier, so I wanted to clarify that. But yeah, without further ado, let us go ahead and get the show on the road, because, like, I am wondering what else is he gonna say? What's Lucette gonna react to? And what more clarification will we get from this night? Let's find out. I stare at him, nonplussed. He holds out a hand. The grin never leaves his face. Okay, side note, I kind of like the cape, but it's so clear that, like, there's a distinction from Varg, because, with Varg anyway, there's a lot more wolf imagery, and there's none here. It feels more like, Zorro.
Yeah, it's a lot more sleek.
Yeah. Minus the Fox Association. Let's clarify that one.
What do you say to just one dance, princess? Come on, I don't bite.
Oh boy. I look at Fritz quizzically. What does he hope to accomplish with this change in character? He always looks so pained when he remembers the things he did as Varg, so... why? Oh yeah, how about we bring up the thing that we talked about, like, in the beginning of the stream, by the way. Like, before we even started. Like the part about, like, Fritz confirming something?
Yeah, my thought was... Because he had voiced concerns before. He had asked Lucette, like, did you ever love Varg? And he seemed concerned about that. And I also couldn't decide if he knew Varg was a part of him and was afraid Lucette didn't like Varg and would, like, hold that against him in a way, or whether he was afraid that Lucette might have liked Varg better.
Yeah. Because, like, it seems like he has, like, an impression of Varg being, like, the bolder part that he wishes he could be in real life, or, like, in his more conscious self, and like, I think the part is that, like, Varg was a lot more unconscious. So, especially with, like, after the curse being broken, it's hard to tell, like, what parts are truly him and what parts are, I guess, Varg emerging in a way. Plus, he did say in, like, his ending that he would return in some form. In what way, it never said.
Yeah, but it kind of feels like he's doing this whole masquerade so he could do this to just kind of see how Lucette actually reacts to Varg. Like, what her impressions are of him in general.
Yeah. And I guess in turn, maybe Lucette's still figuring that out in a way. Because, like, she's associated more with fear, but then if she realizes more that it's also a part of Fritz as well that she can't exactly completely deny, there's some resolutions that she has to make herself as well. You know?
Yeah, I mean, everybody has that darker side part of them. But I feel like as long as it isn't overwhelming and controlling you, you know, right now she doesn't have to be afraid that she's in any danger from Varg.
Right.
So she can get along with him.
Yeah. Plus, I mean, I was another, like, same friend I celebrated my birthday with and also clarified about the Geneva Convention. She also said that the notion of, like, this purer higher self, or, like, there's some better half, and then, like, this other part that you kind of express, like, the light side and dark side mentality we often put in media. Or, like, the presentation part. If that were truly the case, of, like, this part that's uninhibited or deep down inside of you, then technically we've never really been our true selves the entire time, because we're super curated anyway. So it's probably more important to be more integrated than it is to be perfect. If that makes any sense. So, like, I think, like you said, I think this might be another method of, integration here.
Yeah, maybe it's less about gauging her reaction and him trying to incorporate Varg into his own life.
So in a way, the masquerade's kind of like therapy?
Yeah?
For lack of better phrasing. Let's see what else she says.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta face your issues head on, you know, as they say.
Yep.
This is probably the easiest way he could, like, bring this out in the open.
Yep. Yeah, the run.
Which is saying a lot, because all this was not easy.
Yeah. You either run from it or you learn from it. Rafiki is so wise. Oh! First decision already! But I gotta remember, I'm saving in between, so it's like, it's not a big deal if I happen to choose the wrong thing. I'm leaning towards play along.
Oh, I am definitely thinking we should play along.
Yeah, like let's see what happens here.
It is gonna be fun.
Yeah, because he did say masquerades are another way to show another side of you. What? No wolf puns? You've lost your touch.
Oh?
He takes a step toward me, and though I cannot read his eyebrows, it's impossible to miss the smirk on his lips.
I may be a bit out of practice, but I think I'm better at wordplay than a certain dumbstruck princess.
Oh ho! The difference between us is that I know how to speak without demeaning a person. I expected more flamboyance from you, Varg. That is true. He was more flamboyant in a way. Fritz shrugs.
Sorry to disappoint, princess. Next time I'll make sure to dress in bright, gaudy colors just for you.
He presses a kiss to the back of my hand. Then, much to my surprise, he pulls me toward him with a grin.
Shall we dance?
And now I'm thinking of the King and I song.
Bum, 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 bum.
What? That was fast? What?
Well, to be fair, I think that was actually just the end of the last chapter.
Fair enough. Like, the build-up was... I think we just built it up so much with, like, ending it there. I mean...
Well, I think the game just tried to do exactly what we did, was, like, leave it on that cliffhanger with Varg. We just cut it just a little bit too early.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. And I kind of wondered, like, with that short of a thing, it's like, I'm wondering, was scolding him the right answer? But on the other hand, the playing along was a lot more fun. Anyway, let's keep going.
Like, he put a lot of thought into this.
He did put a...
Tried to get this to happen. Don't just shut him down like that.
Nope. If the night outside is a canvas of gently twinkling stars, the throne room is an intricate painting of a midnight dance. I catch Fritz's eyes in the middle of our dance, the twinkle with a merriment so bright it is contagious. I cannot help but smile myself. Tonight is a night for boldness and freedom, a night where we can be anything we want beneath these masks. Fritz bows me away from him and then back again. For a few moments I remain rooted in place, not wanting to move. Then perhaps because of the atmosphere, I find myself standing on the tips of my toes so I can plant a kiss on his lips. The composed smirk falls away from his face, replaced by a faint blush. As abruptly as he pulled me toward him, he suddenly twirls me away.
Feeling more brazen tonight, aren't you?
Oh? And here I thought you knew how bold I could be. Fritz grins at me.
You're the type that enjoys kisses stolen in secrecy. All the more intimate things tucked away where no one can see them.
Well, considering they're dating in secret, he's not wrong.
I've heard people say it's better when it's stolen.
Right?
That's the princess I know.
And maybe you don't know me as well as you think you do, Lord Fitzgerald. Or, I'm sorry, it's Lord Varg tonight, isn't it? Fritz does not deign to respond with words. He leans forward to plant a kiss on my forehead before spinning me away.
Just Varg will work for tonight. And what am I to call you?
If it's Cinderella, I'm probably going to be... Me?
I can't be the only one playing dress up, can I?
Or maybe maybe we get to come up with a name? Let's see. A title? For me?
Is it gonna give us a choice?
Do we get a choice? I hope this is one choice I hope we do get. A memory that I've long been trying to suppress surfaces. Oh god, is it Ice Queen? Ice Princess, that's what I meant. Ice Princess. As a title the townsfolk used to call me behind my back, one I refused to acknowledge until it was too late.
What's with the dour expression?
In one quick step, Fritz bridges the distance between us. I'm completely aware of my hand pressed to his chest and his breath on my cheek. I turn to consider the crowd around us, but then I realize Fritz has pulled us to the outskirts of the room, away from prying eyes.
Hey, Ice Princess.
Did he read her mind? Oh! Fritz? Whatever else I've been meaning to say is cut off when he puts his lips to mine, stealing my words away from me. I'm almost stunned enough to push him away, but then I realize that despite the abruptness of the kiss, Fritz's arms around me are gentle. The kiss, both deep and lingering, is enough to make my knees weak, yet is disappointingly short. The moment I feel myself sinking into his touch, he pulls away and pulls a loose strand of hair behind my ears.
The Ice Princess. The one who made all those mistakes in the past. The one who was forced to face so many of his mother's demons. That woman is still you.
Oh dang! Got double integration here! The smile on his face is gentle.
I came to a realization a few weeks ago, Lucette. It was this. In order to face the future, we have to face the past first.
Wow. He got it! He got it! Wow! His expression becomes somber as he touches the mask on his face.
This whole time, I've been lamenting my past. I've been talking about how much of my life I've wasted serving other people. I've always hated the part of myself that was Varg. It was the part of me that hated the world, the part of me that judged everything and everyone. But wearing this mask now makes me remember Varg differently.
Wow.
Now, I can't help remember the side of me that laughed in the face of danger. I can't help but remember the side of me that laughed in the face of danger. The part of me that held tight to you even despite my curse.
This is getting good.
I did some terrible things, Lucette. And maybe you did some things you regretted too. But...
He leans forward to plant a soft kiss on my forehead. When he pulls away, he is once again smiling his gentle smile.
The past is the foundation. And I realized that it's only through accepting everything that I did and everything that I was that I can move on.
This is so good! Oh my god! Wow!
Gotta face your demons. You can't just stuff them in a closet forever.
Nope. He gestures around the throne room. My eyes fall on the masked guests, and the jovial smiles lighting their faces.
People are guilty of wearing masks around others all the time, but give them the opportunity to wear the masks in public, and they open up and become less afraid to show you who they really are.
Now I really want to go to a masquerade ball.
That's why I thought a masquerade would be good for us.
Good pick, Fritz.
Wearing a mask is like looking in a mirror, I think.
I smile as I weave my fingers through Fritz's. Those are wiser words than I thought you were capable of, Varg. Fritz bursts out laughing. His smile turns cocky.
I would be offended if I wasn't so amused.
He pauses, looking thoughtful.
So, Will you let me call you Ice Princess?
Oh, good question.
I've always thought it was a beautiful title.
Also, did you know that ice is actually a rock?
What?
Yeah, apparently it's classed as a rock, according to geologists.
I mean, scientists classify weird things weird, but I don't know. I'm having trouble with that one.
I think it's more so the structure in particular when it freezes. I'll have to find the study for that one, but
I'm like, does the structure from ice to water, is that similar from like stone to lava or something? I don't know.
Good question. Well, I think maybe this description might give you the answer.
Oh, yeah. Ice is sturdy, sure, but it's also malleable enough to chip into whatever shape you want.
And doesn't it remind you of marble, in a way? I mean, there are some regions even where they make entire hotels or even buildings out of ice for a season. Just a brief thought. Fine. You may refer to me as Ice Princess, but also... I raise an eyebrow at him. How would you be able to see your eyebrows, though, considering how much the mask is covering your face? Not that I don't appreciate the flattery, but... if we are revisiting the past... Fritz smirks.
Fine. I try to be romantic and you cut me down. Same old Ice Princess.
That sounds more like the Varg I know. He takes my hand and plants a kiss in the back of it.
I've been making tonight sound like it's about me, when it's really about you.
Oh?
So I insist you choose what we do next, Lucette.
Oh snap! They're both good. They are both good options. Which good option do we feel like doing today? Is the question.
Well, part of me is like, well, what needs to happen more that you might not get the same opportunity for?
Yeah, cause like on the one hand, I feel like dancing with them again, and yet on the other hand, it feels like, considering that mask metaphor, it feels even more tempting to kinda go to the family and make this a bit more public. I don't know. This is actually a hard one, and it's actually not. It's not that difficult of a decision, and yet it is. You know.
It also depends how they dance. Like, are the two of them just going to waltz through the crowds and be seen in public in that way?
True.
But at a masquerade ball, you could almost get away with that. So it might almost be a good way to...
Yeah, this is actually it's not an emotionally intense decision, and yet it's like it's the hard one because like they're both really good options. Also, I admit, I'm also curious about Emmeline's mask too. So, peeps down in chat, what do you think we should do next? I mean, you probably noticed I did change up the format a little bit. So, now you can hopefully see the visual novel text a bit more easily. Alright. Also, I think my sound's out on my end. Well, on the one hand, I am curious about Emmeline's mask because of the you know, I wonder what the Brigantia masks look like. But on the other hand,
Is that better?
ah, there we go! Yay!
Okay. I don't know what happened, but I just had to reset that real quick.
Ah,
I have no idea where I cut out. So.
yeah, you were talking about like dancing in the middle. Maybe that would kind of bring more positive attention. Oh, but I think you're also kind of talking about like which part is like what would be considered more important. And it's like either way, it's like I don't know. It's because like on the one hand, I'm curious about Emmeline's mask from Brigantia, and yet on the other hand, I would love them to have them more time on the dance floor.
I mean, part of me is thinking they'll still have time to dance. But I am very curious what other people look like at this masquerade right now.
I know! So, yeah, let's just try searching for them. Let's see what happens. Alright, let's take a look. It occurs to me that I've yet to find my family, even though my first priority should have been to greet them. But as always, my thoughts are scattered when Fritz is involved.
I was wondering how long I would have you to myself.
What?
It's nothing. Now come on. Let's go find Princess Emmeline and Prince Fraud.
Alright, let's go find what the masks look like. Fritz takes my hand and begins to lead me through the crowd. This time, both of us are on the lookout for familiar faces. I believe Claude and Lance are here, but I have to find Emmeline and Rod before I greet them. We eventually find Emmeline talking animatedly to a man whose face is both foreign and familiar. He took it off! Darn it! I want to see it!
Is she not wearing a mask?
She's not. She took it off. If I'm being honest, it is a relief to be free of this mask for a while. Emmeline is holding her mask, smiling sheepishly. I notice with a start that the man standing beside her, Prince Lance, is also unmasked. Too bad we don't get to see the Brigantia masks. Dang it! I was curious! He laughs.
I'm used to wearing masks because my mother throws many masquerade parties. They're a little suffocating, aren't they?
Well, with this one, even though it's a different kind of mask, I kind of agree. The Brigantian masks are so heavy.
Probably because of all the layered details. Though, if you don't mind my saying...
He smiles at her gently.
You look lovely in a mask, but I prefer you without one. You have beautiful features, Princess Emmeline.
And of course, he's shimmering while he does it. Of course. Disney Prince.
That's sweet. I've never seen Emmeline so red.
I glance at Fritz, curious. I've never asked Fritz if he knew that Emmeline fancied him not too long ago. Regardless, I am glad nothing ever came of that infatuation. I forgot that! Oh my gosh!
Hey, you too.
Rod appears from nowhere, also unmasked, looking somewhat disgruntled.
Staring is rude, you know. Staring? Hardly. I think you're just being overprotective, Prince.
Rod cocks a sharp eyebrow. Rod cocks a sharp eyebrow. After a few moments, he gestures behind him at Emmeline and Lance.
I plan on going over there right now.
To do what?
To intervene, of course.
Oh boy. Typical brother.
Ah, the dashing but very annoying brother goes to interrupt his sister during one of the night's most romantic moments. Why are you talking like that?
Don't mind him, Rod. He's acting. Fritz smiles teasingly at Rod behind his mask, but says nothing else as Rod turns away with a frown. He makes his way over to where Emmeline is, standing with Lance. Fritz and I face each other.
I'm glad we didn't intervene before Prince Rod did.
I feel the same way. I watch with some amusement as Rod awkwardly places himself between Emmeline and Lance. I'm still watching them when Fritz taps my shoulder.
Care for a drink, Miss Ice Princess?
I admit, this is a fun part. Watching all these antics through this. I nod my head at him slowly as I come out of my thoughts.
I'll be back in a few moments, then. Don't go anywhere, okay?
Fritz walks off to get something to drink, but does not leave me alone for long. Only minutes later, he has returned. I stare at the glass topper and, as he hands me one of the drinks, it appears to be some kind of animal. It looks like some kind of strange lizard.
It's a dragon.
A $100 coin say it's a chameleon. Yep! I got it! What is this?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Double person Karma comes from behind and says, it's a chameleon!
Apparently this was done to honor one of our esteemed guests.
Why am I not surprised? Perhaps it was for Claude or Lance, but why a lizard? I startle when Fritz flicks my forehead.
Sorry, I couldn't resist when you were so obviously daydreaming.
Would it be not more a night dream at this point?
Point taken.
Though Fritz and I remain in each other's company for a long time after that, it is just a matter of time until the two of us are forced to separate. One thing is not too different from Cinderella. At least this time, though, she's not being turned into a peasant that is easily forgotten after that. I am pulled aside by other nobles, all of whom have some matter or another to discuss with me. Meanwhile, Fritz is cornered by some of his acquaintances from the Order. I insist he share a drink with them. After some hesitance, he agrees to accompany them. Later, socializing becomes more difficult. My energy is drained and I feel suddenly claustrophobic. Is she an INFP?
I'm like, when an introvert is at a party and they're just suddenly done.
Yep, the battery's low. You need that alone time for a few minutes. I need some fresh air. I glance around the throne room and attempt to find Fritz, but quickly give up on the effort. I should let him relax for a change. I turn and head out of the throne room. I release a sigh as I step out into the corridor. The tranquil night is a nice change from the crowded throne room. And oh yeah! The other thing I just remembered. Yeah, the time of day changed in that explanation about Fritz's mom. It was like more daylighty and then it turned into like a sunset nighttime shot. Almost forgot about that. I wander a little farther, deciding to put as much distance as I can between myself and the crowds. I meander down some of the nearby corridors, taking in the quiet of the night and letting it settle gently on my shoulders. Save for a few nights out on patrol, the halls are empty. Some wave to me as I pass, but none approach to talk. It remains this way until I am a good distance away from the throne room, and a familiar knight makes her way over to me. Princess Lucette? What are you doing out here? I came out here for some fresh air. I pause to glance behind me and realize suddenly that I've come into a different corridor. Many of the lamps here are unlit, probably to discourage people from wandering any further. Jurian smiles at me wanly. A little too crowded inside for you? I'm afraid so. I'm surprised Fritz isn't out here with you. I didn't want him to pull him away from the festivities when he was having so much fun. It's been a while since I've been able to relax. I can't argue with that. He's looked tense recently. I nod and look at her curious. What about you? How have you been since the promotion? The smile stretches across Jurian's face so bright it sparkles. I've been well. It's been a lot of work, but it's rewarding. I only wish... She stops then, the smile fading from her face. Oh yeah, Garland died in the battle too. In this ending. Like, almost everybody died in this ending. I can tell by the melancholy in her eyes that she's thinking of Garland. My heart sinks at the memory of him. I have tried many times to apologize for Jurian for what happened, but she insisted it was not my fault. Now, the only thing I could think to do is to pay my respects to him as I do with everyone else. I hope that my words reach him. Jurian shakes her head abruptly. Never mind. When she faces me again, her good cheer has returned. I'll escort you back to the party, Princess. I was just returning myself. I nod my acquiescence. The two of us had just turned and are beginning to head back when Jurian suddenly stops, head angled. I follow her gaze down the hall and see people in the far distance. Guests? But there is no reason for them to venture this far. I look questioningly at Jurian, but she has already started walking toward the small crowd. Head back to the throne room, Your Highness. Wait, what? But Jurian trots up silently before I can finish my question. For a few moments I simply watch her go, disconcerted by the sudden change in her demeanor. I ought to head back, but I'm curious about what's happening. Surely it can't hurt to investigate. If I need to, I can always hide. Fritz taught me how to be inconspicuous. Eventually, I come to the edge of a darkened corridor. I tuck behind the nearest pillar and scope out my surroundings from behind. From here, I can only just barely make out Jurian's profile. In front of her, cloaked in heavy darkness, are two knights and a woman.
By the way, it can definitely hurt to try to investigate this sort of thing. I'm just saying.
Yeah. I mean, If that episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier is any indication. And that was accidental. I realized almost immediately that they are holding the woman between them, and one of the knights has his hand clamped over her mouth. What is the meaning of this?
Commander, we're just dealing with an interference.
What?
We found this undesirable roaming the halls with a stash of dangerous equipment.
Oh no! Is this another like ex-witch weaponizing thing? The woman between them continues to struggle, but her thrashing barely moves the knights, who stand stock still as like a Jurian. Let her speak.
Don't call her undesirable. That's just rude.
I know, yeah.
But, Commander...
I said, let her speak.
Commander, she was holding on to this.
The knight takes something from his pocket and presents it to Jurian. Her eyes widen. A potion? She glances at the panicked woman. So, their captain's a former witch, but what are they doing to her?
She's about to break into the party with this. We found her skulking out here and arrested her immediately.
Oh, snap! And? If she is so guilty, then let her speak for herself. The two men glance at each other over the woman's head. Even from this distance, I can tell Jurian is scrutinizing them. If I was able, I would come up right this moment and bid the knights to speak myself, but Jurian cannot know that I'm here. At last, one of the knights sighs.
I never thought you would be a witch sympathizer, Lady Jurian.
Oh, shoot! Oh, no!
Oh, no.
Are these
Is this the kind of knights we have? Is this our armed militia? I don't like this.
I don't like this either. Are these Outcasters, men? That's the only theory I've got. Even in this darkness, I could see Jurian glowering, but before she could say anything, she is interrupted by the sound of shattering glass. The hallway is suddenly encased in a mist thick enough to hide the figures from my sight. This is very familiar. Stop! Desist at once! Jurian's words fall on deaf ears. Before I could rationally piece the scene together in my mind, I am pulled from my thoughts by the sound of battle. Though the mist is thick, I can see Jurian engaged in combat with one of the knights. The witch is conspicuously missing. Where'd she go? It is then that I witness one of the knights escaping the mist. He holds the struggling woman firmly in his grasp and yells something in his comrade before running down the hall in the opposite direction. Fear mingles with anger as the knight approaches. Panic builds my chest. If I move, I'll put myself in danger. But I do not. The kidnapper could very well escape. What do I do? Oh gosh, it's hard! Ah! Like, I almost want to call out for, like, any knights that could help out, but on the other hand, if they're also in league with those guys, that could be a problem. But on the other hand, if she intercepts by herself, she does have the dagger, but, like, she only recently started training with it.
Yeah. Also, Fritz would be very upset if we intentionally put ourselves in danger. Like,
yeah.
He wants us to fight as a last resort.
Yeah. On the other hand, that witch can't get away. Like, it's so obvious that she's not, it wasn't voluntary at all. It's hard. Oh. I guess we flip a coin on this one. Alright. Heads, we intercept. Tails, we call for help. Let's see. Got tails for call for help. Call for help it is. Let's go for this. Maybe though. I feel like it's not the right call, but on the other hand, though, I don't know what else we could do.
That's kind of the one I was leaning towards. Actually, maybe Fritz will come rushing out.
Fingers crossed Fingers crossed that Fritz is the first one to respond. I turn and rush back down the corridor before the night approaches. The least helpful thing I could do is put myself in danger. I must call for help. The thought instills a great confidence in me, but as I run through the halls, that confidence diminishes. No matter how loud I shout, no one hears me in these empty corridors. Oh no! A sudden desperation takes a hold of me, and before I realize it, I yell out a word I have not uttered in years. Adiuva! It's like a magic trick. The minute I say the word, Fritz appears at the end of the corridor, eyes wide and panicked beneath his mask.
Set?
He easily bridges the distance between us and puts his hands protectively on my shoulders.
What happened?
A kidnapping. A knight has kidnapped someone. Jurian is fighting his accomplice. I'm breathless as I point down the hall. I no longer hear swords in the distance. How about this means Jurian has defeated one knight and is chasing after the other?
Set? We must go back to the throne room and tell His Majesty.
He squeezes my shoulders tightly, as if to hold me still, then rushes down the hall, his cloak rustling behind him in the near-silent night. I stand for a few moments watching him rush off. Then after a few moments of hesitation, I turn on my heels and continue to the throne room. Oh yeah, I forgot. Adiuva is a summoning phrase. I forgot. It is better this...
Does that work? Isn't that like magic? I don't know.
I don't know! I don't know if that was magic, but it worked. It is better this way. Better for me to stay out of trouble. The minute the king is notified of the incident, the masquerade is cancelled and the throne room cleared out. It is I who brings the news to him, and I who helps him organize the knights to deal with the threat. It's not long before Jurian returns, but I'm disheartened when she only arrives with one of the captors.
Have you found the other man?
We think he might have escaped to the palace. Lord Fitzgerald went after him. I clench my hands into fists to keep them from shaking. Should I have gone after them? But Fritz told me to avoid fights and did not think I could win. My upset must be apparent. Jurian addresses me next. Don't worry, Princess. We'll find him. I can only hope that witch is unharmed.
I would hear an explanation while we wait.
Yeah, that was a hard one. Because, like, on the one hand, she now has self-defense techniques and she's pretty good at hiding. But on the other hand, was this one that she possibly couldn't have gotten away with?
Yeah, like, she knows self-defense techniques, but the others were trained militia, so...
Yeah, that was a tricky one. My father turns expectantly to the captured kidnapper.
What is your motive?
Oh. I cannot wait to hear what he has to say.
If he says anything. Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we go.
During the war, you let witches destroy us. And then, when we were finally able to have our revenge for all the fairy tale curses they cast and the humans they made suffer, you forgave them. Magic may have disappeared, but that doesn't change the fact that they're still criminals.
Could that be a plant? This is like a turtle conspiracy?
My partner and I were only meting out justice.
Justice? These men are despicable. The king's disgust mirrors my own. He opens his mouth to respond, but stops when the doors to the throne room burst open and Fritz steps inside. Somewhere along the way, he seems to have doffed his masquerade outfit. The other kidnappers dragged him behind him.
Your Majesty, we have apprehended the other man.
Bigger question, though, is where's the witch? He forces the man to kneel.
And the victim? She's in the infirmary, Your Majesty.
Well, thankfully she's okay, but man... My heart plummets at the words. Fritz inclines his head toward me, smiling softly.
They're only minor wounds.
Thank God. Oh. Thank goodness.
See to it that she receives the utmost care. Extend my deepest apologies to her and tell her I will visit her as soon as possible.
Oh. The knights that accompany Fritz into the room nod before leaving to deliver the king's message. Your Majesty, if I may interrupt.
Speak, Jurian.
They discovered that this is not the criminal's first offense. They are also behind some of the recent witch hate crimes happening in town. Why am I not surprised? Oh. Jurian shoots the two knights a severe glare. I hold myself responsible for not having found out about their crimes earlier. You have my deepest apologies, Your Majesty. Then again, there was no way she could have known. She only recently got initiated as the head of the order. Like, there was so much that she still was figuring out. Like, Fritz leaving and retiring for one, and then the chain of command for another, and then grieving Garland for another thing. She had so much on her plate.
Then she has to go through all the old documents to figure out what's currently going on.
Yeah, and making sure everything's up to date. And then, like, the witch hate crimes are, like, a recent, like, investigation. There was no way she could have known that, like, stuff was going to be at her front door. And also, Alcaster? His behavior was weird. In general. Because, like... As we remember in the previous episode, like, there was that vengeance that he had against his wife's murderer. And yeah, on the other hand, he almost tried to usurp the throne from Gennaro himself, even though he had no gripes against him, except being lenient. This is a complex situation, I will say.
Makes for a good story.
Sure does.
Your apologies are unwarranted, Jurian. I'm just as surprised as you to see this hatred, even within our ranks.
Then again, considering that the order was under Alcaster for, like, God knows how many years, they kind of in a way should have seen this coming, but on the other hand, Gennaro was also going through some stuff too between Hilda and Lucette, so I don't blame him completely either. He turns again to the knights, expression stoic.
I personally invited Lady Celeste to this ball. She is a very busy woman, a countess from Grantia who deserves our utmost respect.
A countess? Father invited a countess from Brigantia here without me knowing?
I invited her here to act as a spokesperson for witches, and she gracefully agreed.
Oh snap! What? Wait, so does that mean... Okay, if she is, like, if I remember this correctly, if she is, like, Lance and Quad's mother, or maybe some sort of relative, does that mean they're part witch too? They just decided not to go that route? He frowns.
I do not know what you intended to do with her, but know this. You will be tried for all of your crimes.
Oh, wait! I think it was referring to the... Wait. It's referring to the lady that got kidnapped.
Oh, dang.
Oh, dang! Oh my gosh! Wow! a countess, like the way the Countess of Brigantia is a witch. I thought it was the lady from the prison initially, but that makes a lot more sense if it was the Countess of Brigantia.
I will not abide prejudice in this kingdom.
Ooh. With that, the two men are taken from the room. The sentence is all but set, but they will nonetheless get the trial for the sake of fairness. Jurian herself leads them out. After she is left, it is just Fritz and I left in the room. I break the silence first. The witch is a Brigantian countess? Why did you not tell me she was coming?
I intended to have Claude introduce you tonight. The only other ones who knew of her arrival were the knights. It was for security purposes.
He sighs.
I see now that it was a mistake to keep the information confidential.
Was that what he was meeting Fritz for? That makes a lot more sense, come to think of it. Especially considering all like all the witch hate crimes, it makes a lot more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that explains a lot then.
Regardless.
My father turns to Fritz with a smile.
You have my thanks for going after the kidnapper, Lord Fitzgerald. I only did what anyone would have done.
And actually, come to think of it, maybe that was a good move that we didn't go after them, because it gave Fritz an opportunity to start redeeming his name. Like, this would go out really quickly about he saved a witch when he himself was cursed by a witch only 2 years ago. So that would solidify his reputation as being a good person. Anyone else? Would I have been able to do the same thing? Well, it did hit Lucetta's confidence a little bit, but...
Well, I think when someone makes a statement like that, it's less about actual capability and like more about intention. Right.
Because like, Lucetta's intention was still good even with that idea.
She wanted to go chase after them.
Yeah.
I heard Lucette calling for me. She was the one who alerted me to the kidnapping.
Even after all that practice with Fritz, I was unable to do anything. I can protect myself, but I still can't protect anyone else. As if sensing my thoughts.
Your job to protect anyone else.
I know. Yeah. I mean. On top of that, she's a crown princess, so even if she wanted to, it would have been like way too risky to do it. I mean, then again, there are like I know like there are like royalty in the military, but oftentimes, I mean, unless like they're really dedicated to it, it's often in name only.
My instinct was gonna be to say, you know, that's what the knights are for. Then I'm like, no wait, hang on. It's a little bit of a more complicated issue right now.
Yeah, absolutely.
She also had the foresight to tail Lady Jurian. It was dangerous, but had she not done so, neither of us would have known what was happening.
That was the one thing she should definitely give herself credit for. The fact that she actually did like a stealth thing and listened into the conversation, that was smart. Like, that was really smart. Like, that was the more dangerous part of it. Espionage. The king smiles.
Imagine my own daughter skulking through the corridors.
You make me sound like a criminal. It was useful stealth, wasn't it? I was glad that I could do that in the very least.
It was brave.
Aww. The king smiles.
I would like to speak to the Countess now, but I would hear your testimony tomorrow, Fritz. Of course, Your Majesty. And you are excused. Thank you both for your assistance tonight.
With a bow and a curtsy, Fritz and I dug out of the throne room. My head is still reeling by the time I return to my bedroom. To think the woman I helped save tonight was a countess from Brigantia? I collapsed onto my bed with a groan. Fritz leans against the wall nearby, arms crossed.
What a long night.
Long night indeed. Wow. I'm sorry you had to spend so much of it looking for that escaped knight.
Why would you apologize for that?
I should have done something. I could have done something. Fritz crouches down beside me. Gently, he takes my hands in his own.
I told you before that running away is the best way to stay safe. And you listened.
But this was different, Fritz. This wasn't just about me.
You're too hard on yourself, Lucette. Calling for help isn't weakness.
No, it is not. My heart plunged at the thought. Before, I had always thought that reaching out to others was a weakness, that to rely on others meant that I was incompetent. Even now, I cannot help but feel that there was more I could have done for the Countess, but she was found in the end, at least. Injured, but alive.
Please, Lucette. I never want you to have to put yourself in danger.
But I am the crown princess. Putting myself at risk for my people is one of my duties.
But not often means your sacrifice won't bear fruit.
Important point right there. But, Fritz, yeah.
Sacrificing for your people, but maybe not like literally?
Yeah! I mean, Fritz also kind of learned in a way, like, there is some part, like, it's like self-sacrifice, even if it's not in a literal sense, it still could cost you dearly versus delegating. And that's something Lucette still needs to learn a little bit, I guess. But Fritz, he kisses my hands.
The Countess is safe, and you're safe. That's all that matters.
Yep. He does not let go of my hands until I concede this point. After I reach into my pocket and withdraw his knife, the one I did not get the opportunity to use. That's what I was kind of wondering. Like, was this the point where we had to use the knife here? Was that our one chance? I wonder.
You kept the knife with you.
Of course! I should have used it.
No. The knife is a last resort, Lucette. I don't want you to use it unless you absolutely need to. Don't feel bad that you didn't stab anyone tonight.
I guess it's not really Chekhov's gun, or in this case, Chekhov's dagger. Just because you have it doesn't mean you have to use it.
I'm glad you kept it on you, though.
How could I not? You gave it to me as a gift, and it's a good means of protection. It would be foolish of me not to carry it. I look down at the knife, thoughtful. After a few moments, Fritz wraps his hands around mine.
What you did today was amazing, Lucette. But please, promise me you'll always prioritize your own safety.
Oh.
And GL can't lose its future queen.
That is true. That is true. The spark dies in his eyes as he speaks, and his shoulders, wow, and his shoulders sag.
And I can't lose you. You mean the world to me, Lucette. You're the one that keeps me rooted, keeps me sane. You're my dream for the future.
Oh! His eyes are on the dagger as he speaks. I wonder vaguely as he was thinking about his mother and what happened to Alcaster after her death. I need to comfort him somehow, but how? Oh, man! This is hard. What? Oh, man, because, like, both of these could be good. Because, like, talking about the future would be amazing. And yet, I keep thinking about that one thing he said as Varg, where it said, sometimes in order to figure out what the future is, you gotta learn from the past first.
Yeah. Like, well, both of those are good for figuring things out. She specifically says she wants to comfort him. And the past has a lot of trauma. I feel like right now, the future would be more comforting to talk about.
Fair enough. Yeah, let's give that a shot. Alright, future time. I lower myself to the floor and before he can protest, lean close enough to press myself to his shoulder. I reach up to trail my fingers down his arm. I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon, Fritz. You're just as much my dream as I am yours. I want you to be my future. Fritz's cheeks flush a soft crimson. It takes me a few moments to realize why. I quickly pull away, my own cheeks warm. But Fritz grabs my hand before I can stand back up. He draws my fingers to his lips and kisses them one by one, lips lingering on each one. Fritz! He looks up at me, his gaze filled with warmth.
Always. I promise you, I'll be with you always.
Oh! Is this gonna be it? Let's see. Oh! He waits forward to cut my face in my hands. Our lips are inches apart when a knock sounds at the door, startling us both. Dang it!
Come
on!
Is it gonna be the king and you're like, nah? Oh, it's a maid.
That's a maid. Your Highness, the Queen requests your presence in her chambers. Ophelia? She must want to check on me. Tell her I'll be there in a few moments. I turn back to Fritz and plant a quick kiss on his lips before standing up. He looks at me, almost disappointed. I consider him for a few moments before shaking my head with a little smile. Would you like to come with me?
To the Queen's rooms?
Is there a problem?
No, I've just never visited her chambers before.
Allow this to be the first. After all, she's gonna be your possible future mother-in-law. Then we must remedy that. You're basically a part of the family now, after all. Before he can protest, I grab his hand and pull him out of the room. Last night's proceedings feel like a dream in the morning. The king reviews the situation with the counselors, and after hearing testimony from Fritz, Jurian, and I, he sentences the knights to a lifetime in prison. Which makes more sense, honestly. The countess has been offered a room in our palace for a few days. Last I heard, she's resting in her room and recuperating from the trauma of last night. Even the masquerade felt like a dream. In the morning, everyone is exhausted. With the exception of 2 people. And guess which 2 could that be?
You absolutely must fight me. I will not leave Angiel until we spar.
Oh boy, Claude and his sparring.
Sorry, Your Highness, but I have a very tight schedule.
Says the former knight. His eyes flicker to me, and I can see the mischief in them. I know Fritz does not have so much on his plate as they cannot spar with Claude. No, he just wants to avoid Claude's melodrama. Which I don't blame him in the slightest.
But this is a gentleman's challenge. One does not turn down a gentleman's challenge. On the contrary, one has the responsibility to turn down a gentleman's challenge. It comes from a man that is not a gentleman.
Shade!
You stay out of this, llama.
Claude and Lance are our esteemed guests for the following week. Though I have no doubt Claude's dramatics will tire me out by the end of the week, I cannot help but be glad to see him again. His exuberance is contagious. And I cannot wait to get until I get to his ending, because I did see a few shots, I will admit. I was spoiled by a few shots of him, and like, it's gonna be cool. Adelaide especially is excited the two princes are staying longer. She's been stealing glances across the table at Lance all morning. Even now, she twirls her hair around her finger as she shoots another glance. Shoots another nervous smile at Lance. When she notices me staring, she turns away with a flush.
Do you really plan on ignoring me, Lord Fitzgerald? Oh? Were you saying something?
Oh my god.
Such a cruel man you are.
Oh boy.
Please ignore him, Lord Fitzgerald. He thrives off attention.
Oh gosh. I hope he's not looking like, I mean...
I only wanted to see who the superior swordsman was.
Fritz is a capable swordsman. He was the commander of the Order of Caldera, after all.
That means nothing.
Oh boy. Oh boy. Claude has not changed at all.
Lord Fitzgerald fights with a purpose, not just for the sake of being dramatic. You're just jealous that you're not good with a sword, llama.
Oh! Elaine gives Claude a withering look. Prince Lance is good at many other things, like dancing and chess and... She blushes when she notices everyone's staring at her.
Truly, you are far too kind to me, Princess Emmeline.
The familiar banter continues throughout breakfast. Thankfully, no one brings up the incident from yesterday. At the end of breakfast, I take Fritz's hand and allow him to lead me into the corridor. The two of us are on our way to my bedroom when someone appears in the corridor. Princess Lucette! The Countess, Lady Celeste, appears before us, a brilliant smile on her face. 1,000 blessings upon you this morning. And to you. To what I owe the pleasure. I eyed the Countess critically, searching for any injuries. Much to my relief, nothing stands out. I spot a bandaged wrist beneath her sleeve and a bruise near her neck, but little else. How are you feeling? Splendid. My injuries were minor. I am sorry you were injured in the first place. Please, don't apologize, Princess. If not for you, I would have been whisked away. Anyway, I am glad I stumbled into you. The king told me you planned on giving a speech to the populace in the divide between witches and humans. Would I be able to help you with it? The king called her here for just that reason. Her input would be extremely invaluable. Of course. Perhaps you could meet in the dining hall? Wonderful! I also wanted to say... She grasps my free hand. I flinch at her touch, but I do not pull my hand away. I wanted to thank you again for your assistance. I also want to tell you that I have faith in you as Angielle's future queen. What? I know of the rumors around Angielle. I know many of the witches blame you for what happened, but... The Countess shakes her head. I believe you are not only worthy, but overqualified to be queen. You are a noble spirit, and you'll be amazing. You'll be an amazing queen. That is kind of you to say. I can barely form words of gratitude, overwhelmed as I am by her compliments. The Countess laughs. Have faith, Princess Lucette. People's hearts can be changed. There is good and there is evil in this world, but there is also so much more. People are complex and susceptible to change. She leaves me on that sentiment, leaving me alone with Fritz.
After like Lucette.
I like Lady Celeste a lot. After she has left, he raises his eyebrows at me and smiles that cocky smile of his.
Well?
Well, what?
Do you have more faith in yourself now? I told you that you are good at what you do.
I nudge him. That, my lord, is a matter of opinion. Fritz leans down to kiss my forehead.
I'm afraid your say on the subject doesn't count because you're biased, but...
He pulls a strand of hair back behind my ear.
I would like your opinion on some other things. Like my list for the future, for instance. You're going to help me write it, aren't you?
Oh yeah, there's that! It would be an honor. He smiles at me softly.
The honor is all mine, milady.
Ever the classic knight, this man. Two of us share a smile and a kiss before we head on our way. And I think this would be a beautiful place to end, actually. At Chapter 6. Carpe Diem! That's such a beautiful chapter name. Seize the day, my friends. Seize the day. So, we went through a ball which ended up being transformative to the both of them. How beautiful is that?
In fact, quite beautiful.
Oh yeah. Ah, that was great. Oh man, I am excited to see where Chapter 6 is going to lead us. And I also probably need to refresh myself on the old route. I've been saying that past few episodes, but I really need to refresh myself on that. So, yeah. Chapter 10. Sorry, not Chapter 10. Part 10. Part 10 of this playthrough. Can you believe as well that we've played this game for almost 15 hours?
That's more than half a day.
Yeah. That's how good this game is, though. The writing's great. So, got part 10. We might have Barony on Monday.
I am working later this week, so I'm probably not going to be streaming on Monday and Friday.
Okay, to be continued on Barony then. All right, to be continued on Barony. So, but we got part 10 on Saturday. We still got that. We did delay a little bit because of the holiday, but hopefully you still enjoyed it anyway. And of course, I got my Fiverr shop. Got a couple of listings here. Got Blackout and Ostara. And support local businesses, people. They have become the increasing backbone of our society nowadays. And if you want to check out all my other stuff, my TikTok is one of the most frequently updated, though I have been slowing down a bit on the uploads, but new stuff is coming up pretty soon. Then also you can watch the replays on my YouTube and my Twitch channels as well. And I may actually have an upload on my Vimeo channel probably in the next few weeks. Keep an eye out on that. But yeah, I hope everybody has had a wonderful Easter holiday. For those who do celebrate it, and those who don't, I just hope you have an awesome day anyway. So remember to have fun and enjoy yourselves as you are. And, of course, as always, may your heart be your guiding key. Till next time, everybody, I will see ya. Bye.
Bye.